Hey y'all, what it do? All right, I had to make sure I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on StreamYard, and let me go ahead, pull up Facebooky. Boom. All right, stream, just so that I can see comments as they come in. Oh my goodness. 1 minute and I'm going to start. So if you catch the replay, thank you. If you are here, I did want to make it a little interactive. And if you hear my heater in the background, just let me know. Okay. And I'll turn it off. But wanted to make it a little interactive. So go ahead and comment. But we're going to get through this thing. All right. So it is that time of the year to reflect, to renew, and to execute. So I want to call this live ending the year with purpose through the AIR method. So using the AIR method to end your year off in a good start. Thank you guys for joining, and I really do appreciate you stopping in and catching the live. So I wanted to just get into this 2025 year with intention. So just a little reflecting on this past year for me, and just to let you know that it has been a rough year on my mental. It's been a year where I faced profound loss, like the passing of my top pop, my dad, the guy that I just knew as my dad. Just it was one of the hardest things that I've ever endured. And I'm still in the grieving process. It's just different this time around because I have had the AIR method to use and to remember from all of the other things that I've endured over the last years. But it also reminded me the importance of cherishing memories and leaning on the strength that he has instilled with me his 84 years of life and the 46 years that I got to know him. This year also marked 3 years cancer for me. Yay, cancer free for me. It's a milestone. It fills me with gratitude and pride. And sometimes I do just forget that I did go through it. And making myself remember, it just shows how resilient I have been. And it's not about just being free of the cancer. It's about the journey of the resilience, the understanding that I gained from having to go through such a traumatic experience. Also, the faith that I've gained, that I've regained, and the determination that got me here today to be able to speak in front of you all and share my AIR method. As a caregiver to Nation, I've continued to navigate the challenges and blessings of ensuring his needs are met while still making space for myself and my own growth and my healing. It hasn't been easy, but trust me, it's worth every step. It's been worth every step of the way, every moment, every heartache, just everything. I also made strides professionally by launching my coaching and consulting business website that was registered in May. So we are officially Mental House Restoration LLC. And if you just add, it's my website is mentalhouserestoration.com. And it's all about sharing the AIR method with the world. And I'm so glad that I've been able to do that and even work on a collaboration for a podcast with caregivers. That's going to be coming up in 2025, where it's just a space to uplift and support others like me who are caregivers, who have survivors, just like, because it is a survival game when you're a caregiver. I became an international speaker in Athens, Greece, and I graduated from professional speaker program at GSU, Global Speakers University. And I was also elite team leader and was able to deliver impactful presentations that have been incredible highlights and that have affirmed my purpose and my passion. So this year has been a whirlwind of growth, resilience, and opportunity. The last couple months, I stepped into a manager role at Go Getter Movement Studios, and it's been incredible. I've also been able to take about 69 classes, and I even signed up for 6 showcase pieces coming up in March, which is totally out of my comfort zone. And it's just been a journey of adapting to new challenges, doing the inner work to grow as a leader, and then repeating the habits and just repeating the process to drive to more success. I'm proud of how far I've come and I'm excited to see what's next. And as I look back, I see how the word, which is my word of the year for this year, was enough. I see how it shaped my decisions. I see how it shaped the resilience that I've grown and my relationships. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary for my growth. And the word has carried me through challenges. It's reminded me to breathe, to really take in some good positive air and blow out that negative air. It's allowed me to celebrate my small wins, even if I have to celebrate them by myself. And most importantly, it allowed me to see the beauty in where I am while striving and thriving. Well, not even striving, but just thriving to get where I want to go, just pushing forth. And that's just a little reflection. So I want you guys to reflect on your 2024 and think of the AIR method, which is adapt, is the A, inner work is the I, and R is repeat. Think about where you are in that cycle of your life for 2024. And for me, enough signals repeat. So I am in that ending part of this cycle that I have been in for a couple years now. So I'm going to renew my intentions for the upcoming year. And renewing our intentions for the upcoming year, it's a powerful practice. And I've done it for decades now. And it ties directly to the AIR method. And the funny thing is, I didn't even really realize that until I started developing and the framework and really going through my life and everything and thinking about it. And as we reflect on this past year, we begin with self-awareness. As I said, that for our mental health, self-awareness is your foundation, and acknowledging what worked, what didn't work, and where we want to grow. That's the adapt phase, where we adjust our mindset and we approach to align our evolving goals. What are your goals? What is your you have to have a goal every year. Keep evolving, please, 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 to do that. The next step is to do the inner work. So to take the time to understand our deeper desires and our purpose. And this involves setting intentions that resonate with our values and the vision we have for ourselves. So for me, I've started getting into choreography and dancing, and I forgot how much I loved it. And it's something that I desire to do is to move my body and be creative and use that as a source of expression. So it's like, what vision do you have for yourself in this coming 2025 as far as your inner work? And then here we come finally to commit to repeat, ensuring that our intentions don't just stay as ideas, but are followed through with consistent action, because it's all about that action. Because if you're talking about something, that's one thing, but if you're not putting the action into doing it, that's another thing. So consistent action, renewing our intentions is just not about planning either. It's about executing daily practices that bring you closer to your goals. So by embracing the AIR method, you create a cycle of continuous growth and resilience, elevating your life one intention at a time. So if you're interested in knowing any of my intentions for 2025, I'm not going to share them here. Join me over at the AIR Method Network. It's a Facebook group that I have, the AIR Method Network. And let's make reading and interaction a necessity in 2025, people. Okay, so let's take the time to read things and get in this interaction, this communication, because effective communication is part of being successful. Emotional awareness is part of being successful. Social awareness is part of being successful. So let's start getting into that more of 2025. Now I'm going to move into discussing the importance of execution for me. And it should be for basically, I feel, everybody, because it is reflectant of the word repeat, of the part, that process, that principle in the AIR method. And execution is vital in personal growth because it's the point where intention meets your action. So you can set an intention all you want, but if you, like I said, you're not putting it into the action, nothing is going to come into fruition for you. In the AIR method, execution aligns most closely with the repeat phase. That principle, as I've said, it's not enough to adapt to life's changes or do the inner work of self-reflection. Real growth happens when we take what we've learned and apply it consistently. We're doing it, we're executing, and it's about committing to the process. Trust your process. Trust your process and what resonates with you, and keep that envision in your mind and push forward. Wake up every day, choose to adapt, choose to embrace your inner work, to do the hard things, to cry when you need to. Don't suppress it. Cry when you need to. That's a release. And just repeat the cycle, even when it's hard. Because trust me, there's been some things this year that have knocked me down and have been hard for me, but I've been trusting my process, and I've been doing the inner work, and just knowing that being consistent is what matters. Personal growth requires that action, all right? So just make sure that you're doing the small, consistent steps that lead to your transformation. Remember, no matter how small, do them. Don't skip steps, go through it. That's execution. We create habits that enforce the resilience and align with our lives and our goals. That's really what we want. We want our life to mesh and be happy, joyous, positive. So it's just where the real change happens is the execution, the repeat phase, the repeat principle, because it happens, and it's how we elevate our lives one air cycle at a time. So I wanted to start with a chat with you guys, all right, on your word. What is one word that sums up your year so far? So one word that sums up your year so far. As I told you, my word last year was this year was enough. That was what my word of the year was, enough. So let me hear yours. If anybody is in and you're watching me right now, if you had a word of the year, what was your word of this year? All right. And if you're catching this replay, go ahead, drop that down in the chat for me or in the comments. What was your word of this year? Mine was enough. Definitely enough. It was about so many different obstacles, and just knowing that I am enough, and that it's where it is. It's where it's at. Nobody? All right. I will see you guys in those comments. Please let me know what your one word that sums up this year for you. So let's move into the key moments that are the part of reflecting. So the AIR method has really helped me in this grieving process and these transitions that I've been going through, just by knowing that we can always adjust, we can always adapt, we can always pivot, we can always detour, and trust the process that we are in right now, because that's really how you keep that cycle going in order to learn and grow from what you've been through. So grow through what you go through. So let me see. I want you guys to take a moment and reflect on the challenge you overcame this year. Okay, so which part of the AIR method did you use the most? The adapt, the inner work, or the repeat? So I'll say for me, it's really been, this year has been all about the inner work. And I believe that's why I chose the word enough, because that's really what I needed to feel and know for myself, was that I am enough. I'm doing enough. Just by everything that has transpired this whole year. So that is my word. And that's I want you to think, which part did you use? I said inner work. Drop down in the comments which principle of the AIR method did you use most this year? The adapt, the inner work, or the repeat? And resilience comes from the small steps that we take every day to overcome the challenges. And that's really the takeaway that I want you guys to have from that reflect part of it, is that resilience comes from small steps we take every day to overcome challenges and keep us waking up in a happy mood and knowing that we are enough and things. Just trust your process, man. Just trust your process. So now we move into renew. Setting intentions and choosing your word of the year. That's where I wanted you to put you guys as far as planning and everything. And again, if you want to know what my intentions for 2025 are, go on over and join the AIR Method Network Facebook group, and we will get started talking about that tomorrow. I might even pop in there tonight. And I wanted to talk about transitioning. So shifting your purpose and your focus to renewing your purpose for the upcoming year. So shift your focus to renew your purpose for the upcoming year. And I have a lot of goals that I want to achieve. And I'm so grateful that I did get to attend the Weekend of Greatness in Florida this past coming December, and was able to think about my personal goals, my business goals, even my family goals, and which goals are going to be able to be executed this year, and then planning out those goals step by step by step. So that is my focus and my transition into 2025 that I'm working on now, as well as my book. So there are so many goals. What are your goals, and what is your focus going to be like? So I'm planning on waking up a little earlier. We'll discuss all of this over at the AIR Method Network. So come on over there if you're interested in goal setting and planning and all of those types of things to do with personal growth, and you'll be up on it. Now, I really want to get into this word of the year. Okay, really want to get into the word of the year with you guys. Let me make sure that you guys know my word again is execute. And I chose execute because it embodies the action AIR method to life. And action oriented, I mean action oriented. Like, it has been a process, and I've been trusting it, but I stayed in action. I've stayed in motion, as Ma says. In the framework, execution represents the commitment to repeat, like I said, consistently applying the practices of adapting, doing the inner work, and embracing resilience, which is basically building and using that repeat process. It's where planning meets purpose, and dreams turn into results. Because I've turned all of my dreams into results, that I'm having to dream bigger dreams and dream different dreams and stretch and make myself uncomfortable with doing different things, like being in showcases, 6 showcases. Like, that's amazing. I went from emceeing the showcases to being in the showcases. Just unbelievable for me. So the adapt part of it. be flexible with the plans that you choose to execute. So make sure you're flexible with them, and make sure that they know, that they can switch, they can change. It's not a big thing. It's okay if they do. Just what are you going to do next? That inner work. Stay self-aware. Stay emotionally aware. Stay socially aware. And actions with values. It's a big one. Really and align your actions with your values. And in GSU University, the sessions we were having with the team leaders, Dr. Alina, one of the team leaders, she talked about our values. We were discussing our values, and we had to write down our core values, what we thought our core values was. And then not a lot of us have even done that before. So make sure that you're on track with your values. Keep process, make sure you maintain consistency to see results. And the example is I've been the staff and with Go Get Moving Studios, and she's taken 69 classes, and I believe that since October, maybe September. Excuse me, we at the house. It's New Year's Eve, the dog going crazy. But I've taken 69 classes, and with the consistency, I'm seeing better results. I'm even seeing my body changing, weight loss, the confidence, and even pushing myself enough to be in showcase pieces. So it's all about to see those results, and you maintain your consistency to see those results. What is one word you want to focus on for the year? So my word is execute. What is your word that you want to focus on? And then share it in the chat. Your word can be growth. It could be courage. It could be focus. It could be balance. It could be revealing. It could be energy. It could be atonement. It could be power. What is your word for the 2025 new year? Drop it in the comments for me. Let's get a little dialogue going so I can reply to you, and I can root on you for your goals that you want to achieve. Come on over to the Air Method Network on Facebook, the group, and let's get it started. I wanted to have this done by 4 o'clock, so let's push to get this execute. We had reflect. We reflected on our past year. We talked about renewing our intentions just to build that consistency. Now we're into execute, where we turn our intentions into action. So how do we do that? For the adapt part of it, and this is with the AIR method. So with the adapt part of it, you want to create flexible plans to account for your life's unpredictability. So what I did was, where's this one? A planner. It doesn't matter where you get your planner from. Just make sure you grab yourself a planner. And for me to create flexible plans to account for my life's unpredictability, I went with the hourly planner. So my planner has broken down from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. That is going to be the time that I write in here. The time after 7 p.m. will just be downtime, self-care time. But any other time there will be for whether I'm writing or I'm working my business on coaching calls, or if I'm whatever it may be, I have a plan with this planner. Okay. So the inner work, reflect on your mindset and remove those limiting beliefs that block your action. Because trust me, even if you think you don't have limiting beliefs, you do have limiting beliefs that are blocking your action, that are blocking you from pushing yourself forward and taking a risk in something that you want to do. Take that risk. Get out of that comfort zone and do that uncomfortable thing. Because if you don't like it, so what? You don't have to do it anymore. You've tried it. Repeat, build consistent habits that align your goals. And that's one of the things I'm working on, is getting myself back into a groove and a routine and those habits that are aligning with the goals that I have now, and pushing myself up out of the grieving process into a different stage, because there are stages of grief. Well, we talk about that over at the Air Method Network also. So what I want you guys to do is write down one goal you want to execute in January. One goal that you want to execute in January. And then write down one step you'll take this week to move you closer towards your goal. So my one goal is to start the podcast with, was that Dr. Ernie? Who was? Yes, start the podcast. And I'm going to, it's a collaboration, and it's going to be the Caregiver Podcast. So that's my one goal that I want to execute in January. And one step that I'll take this week to move closer towards that goal is to set up a Zoom meeting with my collaborating partner so that we can hash out and make sure we got our title. That's the title we want. Maybe some topics. We'll decide if we want to do it live or if we want to do it recorded, if we want to post it, if we want to do it video Zoom, or if we would just want to do with our voices. So we'll be deciding all of that. So that's the one step that I'll take to move closer towards my goal this week. What about you guys? I want to know. Let's root each other on. Let's support each other, because that's what it's about. That relationship currency, that mental currency in 2025. Let's push for it. Now, a recap. We reflected on our past growth with the AIR method, went through the reflect, the renew, the execution. We renewed our intentions with a clear focus, and we have a word of the year. Make sure you have your word of the year, because trust me, at the end of the year, you'll see how that word played in your whole, played as your year went through. So get that word. Mine is execute. So I'm going to be executing my plans, and I want you to do the same, to execute your plans with adaptability, with inner work and consistency. Make sure you are consistent and putting in the effort, but trust your process. Because execution isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And with the AIR method, you have the tools to take the challenge head on. You basically do. And if you come over into the workshops that I'm hosting, the podcasts, or any of the coaching sessions, if you're interested in any of that, then come on over to www.mentalhouserestoration.com. Set up a Focus Foundation chat, and let's get to talking. Or you can follow me over on Instagram at today's_vibe 4.0, also at Coach Angela _air. You can find me. I'm trying to get myself back into posting on that page. And also, if you any business inquiries, mentalhouserestoration@gmail.com. Go ahead and send me an email and share your reflections. Share what you're thinking down in the comments for me, so I can go over if you catch this replay. I just want to thank you all for this year, for all the supports, all the happy born days, the happy birthdays, just the supporting in all of the celebrations that I've had, all the good things that have transpired, the bad things that have transpired. I just want to thank you all for being there for me, as well as I intend on being there for those who reciprocate that, because relationship currency for me is important. Even coming into this 2025 year, I had got down on the relationships, on building relationships, because it was just like people don't want those kinds of relationships, those genuine relationships. But in this 2025 year, in executing what I want and thinking about 2024 and being enough, I see the relationships that I have cultivated, and it's been wonderful. So make sure we're doing that. Okay, make sure that you're expressing your gratitude for your friends, and you're really being invested in their life and reciprocating, not just Live your life. Don't just exist in it. Don't be an exister. Be a liver. Okay? And as we enter the new year, remember that resilience isn't built in a day. So elevate your life one air cycle at a time. Keep going, keep pushing, keep loving, keep thriving, keep reading, keep interacting, keep putting forth the action, keep getting uncomfortable because it's going to grow you. It'll grow you. Get uncomfortable. It'll grow you. Get out of your state more. Get out of your city more. Travel more. Learn different cultures. Just all of these things. Do them. Do them, do them, do them. And it's 4:00 and I'm out. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you all. And if you catch the replay, let me know. Drop it in the comments and come on over to the Air Method Network.